Hey guys, how you doing? It's Raymond here from the Raymond Report with your free MLB baseball previews and predictions today for Friday. It is May 2nd. Hope you're having yourself a good start to your weekend. As always, don't forget, subscribe to our channel by tapping that notification bell in the top right-hand corner or hit the subscribe button below this video if you're using a mobile device. Today's podcast is brought to you by the Raymond Report. Come and get a free 7-day trial. Click the link in the description. It'll take you to the website, fill out the form, and we'll hook you up with a 7-day pass courtesy of ATSstats.com. All right, let's take a look at the SBI, the Sports Betting Index, and see what the markets are telling us today for Friday, May 2nd. And you can see the favorites are winning 54% of their games the last 7 days, 60% on the season, which if you've been following the Rain Report, we've been saying this religiously. Favorites win at a 60% clip at all sports. A little higher in the NBA, though. For some reason, the NBA straight-up factor this season, bit of an anomaly. 66.1%. NHL so far this season, including playoffs, 61.2%. So, yeah, for some reason, the NBA tends to win a little bit more on the favorites. A little bit, I guess, the parity is more lopsided towards the top-tier teams in that league. All right, getting back to the SBI here for the Major League Baseball on the 7-day average. Pretty much a coin flip when it comes to the over-under, 50.6, 49.4. And run line dogs, 56%. Neutral market, that is your SBI report for Friday. It is May 2nd. All right, let's kick it off at the Great American Ballpark where the Cincinnati Reds taking on the Washington Nationals. Now, the Reds' last game, a 9-1 victory against St. Louis. And for the Nationals, a 4-2 win against Taijuan Walker and the Phillies yesterday. Now, today they're going to send Mitchell Packard to the hill against Hunter Green. And we got the Reds winning this one, 4.87 to 4.05. The over-under landing on 8.95. So we do like this game to go over the total. Looking at some of the numbers, anytime you got a B-type team like Cincinnati against a C-type team at home, coming off a win, they are only 4-11 in their next game. That's why I'm not touching this game here today with a 10-foot pole. All right, let's go to Pittsburgh where the Bucks taking on the San Diego Padres. Now, the Padres 5-3 win last game against San Francisco, where Pittsburgh, and that was our free play yesterday. We gave the Chicago Cubs, and we said, you know what, if Colin Rea can just get through 5-6 innings for Chicago and just hang on, sure enough, it was like reading tomorrow's newspaper, and we got that W with the Chicago Cubs. Now today they're going to send Mitch Keller to the hill against Dylan Cease of the San Diego Padres. And looking at Cease's number on the season, 1-2, a 5.76 ERA, so not off to a great start. But I think he has a history of a slow start, so we'll see what happens today. Minus 166 is the line here for the Padres, and 8 is your total. And we do have a 4.3 to 3.9 victory for the San Diego Padres. However, I do like the over in this game. Anytime you got a C-type team like Pittsburgh taking on a team with a 60 or higher win percentage, the over, and they're coming off a loss, the home team is 7-2-2 to the over. Give me the over today between the Bucks and the Padres. All right, let's head over to Citizen Bank Park where Phillies taking on the Arizona Diamondbacks, who are now on a 2-game win streak. Today they're going to send Merrill Kelly to the hill against Jesus Luzardo of the Phillies. Now the Phillies off a 4-2 loss to those Nationals we just talked about. Arizona, big win against the New York Mets. They're now on a 2-game win streak, 5-5 last 10. And today they're going to send Merrill Kelly against Luzardo. And looking at this game, I do like the Philadelphia Phillies here to bounce back off that loss yesterday, even though they're only 4-6 last 10 games. And when I look at the Phillies here, anytime you got a team with a 50 to 59.9 win percentage against another team that has the same identical record, and you look at the record, there it is, identical, 17-14 straight up. The home team is 78-44 off a loss this season. Give me the Phillies over the Merrill Kelly and the D-backs, and let's see if we can put it in the bank. Hey, you can put it on the board, as the Hawk would say. All right, Baltimore taking on the Kansas City Royals. Now the Royals are going to send Michael Wacha to the hill against Dean Kremer of the Baltimore Orioles. Now, man, Baltimore so far is my most disappointing team of the season. You look at their record, 12-18, a lot of talent. And Dean Kremer, 2-4, a 7.04 ERA. Michael Wacha, 1-3, a 3.38 ERA. Just picked him up off waivers. Actually, I made a trade with my buddy on my fantasy. I traded Wacha for Clase. Clase, I don't know. This year, not like last year. But anyways, that's for another podcast. I do have the Kansas City Royals losing this game, 4.73 to 4.16 for the Orioles. And I got the over-under landing on 8.89. And when I look at this game, I did a lot of research. And you know what? One of the tips I can tell you that's probably one of the best tips I can probably give you is anytime you're hemming and hawing, or if sometimes the best play you make in sports betting is the play you don't make. And when you're trying to force a pick, it normally works against you. So anytime you're doing handicapping and you're trying to string along indicators to like, okay, you know what, and you start hemming and humming off every pick. When in doubt, get out, and that's what I did. I pulled the ripcord and I'm off this game. All right, let's go to the Bronx, where the Yankees taking on the Tampa Bay Rays. Now the Rays coming off a 8-2 loss to the Royals last game. And for the Yankees, they played 2 days ago. They lost 5-4 against the Orioles. Today, Max Fried and his 5-0 record and 1.19 ERA, the lefty, is going up against Ryan Pepio of the Tampa Bay Rays. Kevin Cash, the Cash Man, is the manager for the Rays, one of the best managers in baseball, in my view. 2-3, a 4.24 ERA for Pepio. They're on a 3-game losing streak, and when I look at the numbers here, I'm going to lean with the under in this game. I think we got a great pitching matchup in the Bronx, and I got what, 5.1 to 3.62, the over-under, landing on 8.79 on the computer pick. What's the Kogo? Kogo's very high, so I'm going against the numbers here, and I do have some numbers. Man, something in my throat here. I do have some numbers. They're not strong numbers, but a slight lean towards the under, and let's see if Max Fried could help out in that regards. All right, Toronto Blue Jays taking on the Cleveland Guardians. Now the Blue Jays winning the last two against the Boston Red Sox. 4-2 was the final last night, and the Guardians, they're off a 4-3 win over the Twinkies. Cleveland, 3-game win streak. Last 3 have gone under. Golden Logan Allen's going to toe the rubber here today against Chris Bassett of the Toronto Blue Jays. Now looking at Bassett's numbers on the season, 2-2, a 2.62 ERA. Logan Allen, 1-2, a 4.21 ERA, the lefty is. And so you got a lefty against a righty at the Rogers Center tonight. And when I look at the numbers, I kind of like the underdog in this spot. I know, hey, go figure. Ron on an underdog pick. Not too many times I take the underdog because, you know what, when you look at a baseball season, you see all the favorites winning at a 60% clip. It's really tough to, if you look at the underdogs and they're only winning 40% of their game, it's like trying to find a needle in a haystack sometimes. But I do have some numbers pointing towards Cleveland, and it's a go against the Blue Jays. Anytime you got a team below 500 playing a team that has a 50 to 59.9 win percentage, and that home team's at home and they're coming off a win, they're 5-16 in the next game. So not great numbers, law of average type thing. Give me the Cleveland Guardians today over the Blue Jays. Give me the Miami Marlins taking on the Oakland Athletics. Now the Marlins are going to send Valente Beloso to the hill against Gunnar Hoglund of the Oakland Athletics, or the Athletics. They keep calling them Oakland, just, this habit. Minus 138 is the line, 9 is your total. I do have the A's winning this one, and the score that I have in this is 4.57 to 4.34, the over-under at 8.91. So even though the number is 9, I do like the over in this game here today. And anytime you got a C-type team, or actually, let me see here. I got a stat that is 12-6. It's a home team coming off a 2-game losing streak. So anytime you got a home team coming off a 2-game losing streak this season, 12-6 to the over in the next game. Give me the over between the Athletics and the Marlins. All right, let's head over to Fenway, where the Boston Red Sox off the 2-game losing streak against the Blue Jays, losing 4-2 yesterday against Minnesota today. Joe Ryan going to toe the rubber against Brain Bale of the Boston Red Sox. Now, when I look at this game here, I don't have nothing strong and concrete to really base my opinion on this game. Minnesota's on a 3-game losing streak. Boston's on a 2-game losing streak. Company loves misery. They're going to meet at Fenway. The Minnesota Twins, 13-19 on the campaign. The Boston Red Sox, only 1 game above 500. Pick your poison. I think this one here could go to maybe the total. All right, let's go to the Dodgers taking on the Atlanta Braves. Now, the Dodgers a minus 180 favorite. 9 is your total. And we got the Dodgers winning 5.06 to 4.1, the over-under, landing on 9.2. So we do like this game to fly just a tad over the total. And today you got Yoshinobu Yamamoto going up against Grant Holmes in Atlanta. And I like the over in this game. I'm going to play the over. Anytime you got a C-type team like Atlanta taking on a team with a 60 or high win percentage, and the home team's coming off a loss, 7-2-2 to the over. Give me the over today at Truist Park. All right, Houston Astros taking on the Chicago White Sox. And I don't have a real strong opinion on this one, so I'll give you the forecast, 5.2 to 3.2, the over-under, landing on 8.48. Texas Rangers losing to the Athletics yesterday. Texas now on a 2-game slide. Last 2 have gone under, taking on Brian Wu of the Seattle Mariners, and minus 118 is the line. And my numbers are telling me, again, strong indicators None to be found in this game from the Raymond Report. Last 5 games for the Mariners, I've gone over. Our forecast is 4.2 to 4.1, the over-under 8.38. And you know what? Brian Wu, very underrated pitcher. When you look at his numbers, 3-1 to 3.09 ERA. ERA is a little tad high, but for some reason, when he pitches, the team wins. So be careful today. You got Jack Leiter going for the Rangers, and I'm going to pass on that one. All right, let's go to Milwaukee at American Family Field, where the Brew Crew are going to take on the Cubbies. And the Cubbies sending Ben Brown to the hill against Quinn Priestner. I was all over the over at one point here, but then I started crunching more numbers, and I said, you know what? When in doubt, get out. So I'm not going to touch this game. Hey, you know what? Like I say, in baseball, it's like an NFL schedule. You got 15 games every day, just like in the NFL, you got 15, 16 games a week. It's there's the good thing about this, there's always another game to bet on today, and you got the NFL going every day in baseball, right? You got 15 games, sometimes double headers, so you can't force your selections anytime you're handicapping. I got 4.6 to 4.2 for the Cubbies, the over-under, landing on 8.93. Cubbies 6-4 last 10, and we're going to give them a 48.9% chance of winning compared to 45.9 for the Brew Crew. All right, the Mets taking on the Cardinals, another game that I don't really like. Sonny Gray is going to take on Clay Holmes of the Mets. I got the Mets winning 4.1 to 3.9, the over-under 8.14. Detroit taking on the LA Angels. Mike Trout, again, going to be out now. And, if you follow the Raymond Report, Mike Trout, love the guy, but just can't stay healthy for some reason. It's one of those things. I just don't get it, right? He's always injured. Minus 175 is the line, 7.5 is the total, and Tarek Skubal against Jose Soriano. I'm going to go over the total. I think the number's a little bit low here, 7.5. And again, just like the Blue Jay game, anytime you got a C-type team against an A-type team, or there was one game that had that, it was 7-2-2. Which one was it again? Anyways, here's the stat. Anytime you got a C-type team like the Halos taking on an A-type team with a 60 or higher win percentage like the Tigers, and the home team's coming off a loss, 7-2-2 to the over. Give me the over today between the Tigers and the Halos. And your final game of the evening, going to go with the under in this one between the Giants and Rockies. You got minus 285, so if you're going to bet the Giants, take out a house loan mortgage because you're going to need it. That's a lot of chalk, or you're going to wash down a lot of milk when you eat all that chalk. Minus 7.5 is the total, and you got Antonio Sensatella going up against Robbie Ray of the San Francisco Giants, and Robbie Ray on the season 3-0, a 3.73 ERA, and 1-4 for Antonio Sensatella, a 5.22 ERA. Give me the under today between the Giants and the Rockies. And there you have it. That is the Rain Report today, baseball edition for a Monday. No, it's not Monday, Ron. It's Friday. Hey, hoo-ha, the weekend's here. It's Friday, May 2nd. Enjoy the weekend, folks. I'll be back on the Monday with another edition of the Rain Report. Again, don't forget, check out the new betting feature. We call it the betting tracker. Sometimes you want to know what that team is as a home favorite, home underdog, road favorite, road underdog. We got the tool right here. All you do is go to the website, click on betting tracker in the menu, and then if you want to see which team has the best home favorite record, look at that. LA Dodgers 13-3, Detroit 10-2. You got the Mets 10-1, Yankees 10-4. Home underdog, who has the best record as a home underdog? St. Louis Cardinals are 7-2 on the season. Seattle 3-0, and Houston 4-1. Houston, do we have a problem? No, we're 4-1 as a home dog. Road favorite, the top team as a road favorite. 4-1 for Seattle. And let me see, anybody else has a great home record as a road favorite? Chalk's not a road favorite's not winning a lot of games. As a road underdog, what team has the best road underdog record? Not too many teams have a winning record. Boston 5-4 as a road dog. Cleveland 6-4. Is that Cleveland today against Toronto? Wow, look, Colorado 1-14. Oh boy, that's a tough one. Minnesota 1-6. Yeah, and the other thing too, if you want to see over/under, so you click on over/under, see how that changed, the yellow, so you can do a run line, straight up, over/under. So if you want to see who has the best, look at Cincinnati. Cincinnati at home as a favorite, 0-6 to the under. So I think they are a favorite today, aren't they? Against, they have Washington. So keep an eye on that under today between the Nationals and the Cincinnati Reds. All right, folks, have yourself a great weekend, and we'll see you back here on another edition of the Rain Report. Cheers.